Did I not used to have a theme tune? Aye, that's much better. Let's talk about the Game Boy. So, the original Game Boy. 25 years old this year and still one of the best handhelds of all time. I mean, when I was at school, the kids who brought in a Game Boy, they were treated like royalty. They had followers. Fucking minions. Even my mother recognises it when I go back to steal all my brother's games. It's famous. It's ingrained into the childhood of millions. It's a fucking marvel, alright? Except the thing is, on paper, you'd be forgiven for thinking the Game Boy would never work in a million years. In a lot of ways, the Game Boy was an underdog. It was like Rocky, but like in the first film, not like in Rocky 4 where we all knew that even Big Dolph Lundgren was going to get his arse kicked. But anyway, back to the Game Boy. Compared to its competitors, it was pretty underpowered. I mean, it wasn't this piece of shit, but both the Game Gear and the Atari Lynx had full colour displays. The Game Gear could even be turned into a TV with a special TV tuner, and I can confirm it works pretty fucking well. By comparison, Nintendo's handheld only had a monochrome display with no backlighting. In fact, for millions of gamers, wriggling around under lights trying to get a good angle to play your Game Boy is a fond childhood memory. So how come so many people flocked to the Nintendo Game Boy, the little handheld that could? Well, there were two main reasons. First up, battery life. The Game Boy took 4 AA batteries and could give you 10 to 12 hours of battery life. By comparison, the Game Gear and the Lynx, they hoovered up batteries like children's TV presenters presumably hoovered up crystal meth. Both of them took 6 AA batteries and would only give you 4 or 5 hours worth of battery life. The sheer cost of batteries aside, double the lifespan just made things easier for Game Boy owners. Ideally, a console shouldn't stress you out, and 10 to 12 hours worth of battery life means you don't worry about running out. The best thing a handheld can do is make itself easy to just pick up and play. That's the entire point. With its great battery life, the Game Boy did exactly that. It fucking nailed it. Reason number 2, the murky world of addiction. Have you ever played Tetris? Thought so. Have you ever had trouble putting Tetris down? Thought so. For the US launch and beyond, Tetris was the perfect bundle game. Simple, addictive, and with ridiculously catchy music. Even if Tetris isn't the reason you bought a Game Boy, it's the reason you couldn't put the Game Boy down. Also, we can't mention addiction without mentioning Pokemon. Pokemon Red and Blue were released in 1996, and this simple RPG with a turn-based battle system became the devourer of lives. You actually did have to catch them all, and watch the cartoon, and meet up with other Pokemon trainers with a link cable. It was a fucking way of life! And just for perspective, this came out 2 years after the fucking PlayStation was released. Even with all that 3D graphical power, the humble Game Boy still managed to have some of the most important games in history. I mean, your gran knows about Tetris, and your mum's fucking sick of hearing you talk about Pikachu and Bulbasaur, and she just wants to know why you won't go play outside, because it's no healthy you sitting indoors all day playing those games. So, here's to the Game Boy. What a fantastic machine. Although, if I did have one criticism, it does tend to get me in a little bit of trouble. Right, quick bit of news before the comments. I am going to be at London MCM Comic Con with the lovely Sachi on Friday the 23rd of May and Saturday the 24th of May. We'll be hosting a Geek And Sundry panel on Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning, so get yourself down to VidFest, ask us any questions you want on vlogging, Geek And Sundry stuff, or even just horrendously personal questions. I mean, I'm not going to fucking answer them, but you know, you can ask. Anyway, last time round I asked you about your gaming setup. My favourite comment came from retroblogger.co.uk, who simply described it as a shambles of awesomeness, which is a phrase I'm stealing and putting on my business cards. This time I want you to tell me all about your favourite Game Boy and handheld stories. What were your favourite games? What were your favourite consoles? Did you have a Nokia N-Gage? Why did you have a Nokia N-Gage? What the fuck is wrong with you? Let me know in the comments below or on Twitter at L_Pinata. Still no justification for that name, I was drunk. Also, feel free to like and subscribe and tell all your fucking friends about me. Also, go check out Mitch Hutz on Geek and Sundry vlogs. He makes geeky cocktails with booze in them. Booze, tasty, geeky. Yes, let's fucking do this. That's all for now. I shall see you in 2 weeks and, as always, good work, retro gamers! I'll most likely kill you in the morning. Especially the ones who come to the Comic-Con panel. Saturday, 11 AM.